And before we go to Magnus Carlsen's game, we're very, very lucky to have one of his teammates and friends of the show in this very studio, Mr. Jon Ludvig Hammer. We'll get him mic'd up and he can give us his expert opinions whether Carlsen will manage to grind out anything of that, what's happening with Norway, with the team, why he's sitting out. We get many, many questions. Let's fire up the position already. And there we are. This is the one people have been addressing. Will Magnus Carlsen manage to grind anything out of this? I am not 100% sure. There we see Tommy Nybeck, and we have Jon Ludvig Hammer coming in to give us the inside scoop.
All right. So here.
Welcome, Mr. Jon Ludvig Hammer, one of the hopes of the Norwegian team, taking rest today. How you doing?
I'm good. It was a disappointing day yesterday, but we're going strong. I think we're going to beat Finland today, and that opens up a lot of possibilities for the tournament with that two wins from the get-go.
So what went wrong yesterday? You did win your match 2.5, but you had a little scare along the way, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I was definitely losing my game. I managed to salvage a draw, and it was a 2.5 win against Yemen. And I can only say that, well, the Yemenese guys deserve a lot of credit. They did very well. They were ambitious when they had us on the ropes, and that's always important, right? I mean, even when you're the underdog, you really have to put pressure on your opponents, even if they are 2,600, and that's what they did, and they were very close to succeeding.
So you're saying they didn't respect your authority, that's what made them dangerous?
Well, yeah, partly, yeah.
All right, so, well, you came through the match in the end, and today, obviously, your main man is playing, but he's playing a guy who caused him some problems some years back. Were you in that match, Jon Ludvig, in Dresden in 2008?
I was.
Yeah.
I made a very convincing win on board 4. So
I sensed some sarcasm.
I have pleasant memories, yeah.
Okay. Well, he's playing Tommy Nybeck today, but my goodness, even Magnus Carlsen, I'm afraid to say, people, and I'm afraid to say Jon Ludvig, he's just whipped that rook off Jan on d8. We've got a completely equal ending here. Somebody of Tommy's strength. I can't see Tommy ever losing this. Can you?
No, but that's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Magnus is taking one for the team. I mean,
Right.
he's taking the black games against people he knows are going to be quite satisfied with the draw.
Right.
And it's tough winning black games.
Yeah.
But he's there. He's helping the rest of the team out. Because every time Magnus plays, the rest of the team are getting weaker opponents. And I mean, we knew going into it that he's not going to win every single black game.
Right.
But as long as he avoids the losses, we have enough quality players to get a win on other boards.
Right. Well, why don't we, I mean, just for people at home, this is a position, as we can see now, Tommy Nybeck has just played b4, and just, there's not so much to talk about, is there, here, Jon? I mean, what would you, how many times out of 10 would you expect Magnus to win this against Tommy, if at all?
Well, not many, not any.
Not any.
Not any, really.
Would you never give him 1 out of 3?
3?
Were you mad? You
I've
really do.
seen Magnus win all
Yeah,
kinds of crazy, boring positions.
Yeah, but
And
3 is way too much against Tommy Nybeck. 3 against me, maybe, but not 3 against Tommy.
against you, I wouldn't have said 3.
Oh, right, thanks.
We've been much more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean, this is an ending, equal pawns. The structures, they're not identical, but 3 versus 2. b4 I actually like a lot, stopping c5, stopping any expansion on the queen side. I just can't see Magnus ever winning this with the
Well,
reduced
my concern is that Magnus might be worse, but having Jan in the studio assuring that is not the case.
No, I think it's an
comforting.
equal position. What are you going to do? Like a move like king d6? white brings up his king,
King
black plays
3-9.
b6, for
Or
example.
96.
Or even c5.
Yeah, one day you can go for a c5.
I thought
it is
b4
kind of-
was a bit strange, but yeah.
Yeah, I think this is so...
Maybe Magnus can make something. Yeah, and I mean, I was watching that penultimate round in the candidates tournament. Magnus
for
played
example.
against Radyabov,
Yeah.
and even I was saying, well, surely this cannot. I mean, he cannot win.
I
this
remember
and-
I was
and
commentating on that game. I was just astounded. This was not last year's candidates, but the one before. Everybody at home is listening. I couldn't believe he won that game. That was just
Yeah,
unbelievable.
and I think it's very typical of Magnus to manage to squeeze things out,
Yeah.
and he's able to put pressure on the opponents. It's not that the position isn't equal. It's that it's a little bit more pleasant to be well. In that case, black, as Magnus was playing black, but
Yeah.
also he was, getting a slightly better position
Yeah.
for every move, because he was managing to force inaccuracies.
Absolutely.
And well, it's going to be exciting to follow Magnus now, but I think even if he doesn't win, we have enough good positions to be able to win the match.
Let's go there. Let's check out your
Let's have a look.
compatriots, your teammates. Simon Agdestein today playing against Mika Kartunen, the Finnish international master. This is the board 2 game. This is the current position.
And I mean, on paper, our best game, I would say.
Oh, right, okay.
Um,
Well, see, this is Simon's second white, isn't it? So he's...
Yeah, I mean, he's getting the whites, which is fortunate for him. But I mean, as long as he's winning, why shouldn't we keep giving him the white pieces?
Jon Ludvig, a total team player, as you can hear, ladies and gentlemen. In my days, there was always a lot of discussions like, oh, I had 2 more whites than this guy, or I had 2 more blacks, even worse. And it can be tricky in these team tournaments because, of course, you want to do what's best for the team, but also you have to keep people happy. How do you feel about that
Well,
balance?
I'm very happy because I'm sitting out now to avoid me getting 2 blacks in a row.
See?
And also for Kjetil to get a white, whereas he was black yesterday. So, I mean, colors were thought of when we put in today's team.
You guys had a little training camp, right? We saw some pictures from, what's it called, Kragero?
Yeah. Well, we had a very nice camp. We were invited by the owners of Kragero Resort, which is on the south coast of Norway, and it was magnificent. I mean, it was 30 degrees and full sun the entire time we were there.
Wow.
So it was difficult getting chess done when
I
you
didn't
had
see, I was gonna
such
say, I didn't see
pleasant
any
you
chess
chess.
on those
you got a
pictures.
nice tan. Well, what about the chess playing?
Yeah, well, maybe not so much, but it's about building confidence and building, spending some time with your teammates and so on.
Bonding.
It might have been
Bonding, yeah.
the warmest summer in the history of Norway. I'm in Norway quite a bit, and there was really, the days before this tournament was the first time I've ever seen or complained, it's hot in Norway, what's going on here? Like, I haven't seen that. Normally it's raining, snowing, doesn't matter what time of the year it is. But right now, sunshine, 30 degrees in Oslo and Kragero. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah, but I think 30 is too much. So I'm
agree.
happy being here in Tromsø with a
Very
cool
nice.
15 degrees.
It's perfect weather here. I really like it. It's very refreshing.
And also, I think if it had been hotter here, the air in the playing hall would be even
How
worse.
is the playing hall air, and is it cool in there? Because normally they're hot, but
Well, I was very warm yesterday, but that was also partially because I
of
was
your
messing
game.
up. Yeah,
You took
messing
it.
up my game. Yeah.
we've got a shot here, Jon Ludvig. We've got a little.
Where's
over-
that? That's around here, right?
That's
That
around
looks
here.
Arctic Circle.
Beautiful. Look at that. What a beautiful country, Norway.
I haven't been outside yet. It looks nice, actually, right?
It does
Should
look
have one, but-
beautiful. Absolutely. Look at that. Well,
And of course, Magnus spent his rest day yesterday hiking a 5-hour trail up on some of the mountains you can see from Tromsø
he's a
city.
very fit young man.
Speaking of heat, you were also quite involved in the World Championship match in India, where Magnus became world champion, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that, or is that a secret story about you maybe or maybe not helping him from afar a little bit?
No, I mean it's no secret that I was helping out, and We were a team helping Magnus. I was sitting in Oslo. The other guys were sitting at home, and we did as best we could, and I think we succeeded quite well.
I think you did, yeah. Will you be part of the team again this coming November?
I don't know. I mean, you never know. I hope so. I think we did a good job last time, and I would very much like to be a part, but it's all up to Magnus. Of course, he got his second Peter Heine back.
Yes, so that
who was the person I was replacing.
I've seen Peter Heine here. Is he the coach of the Norway team as well?
No, the Norwegian team has a team captain, who you probably don't know, and our coach is Yevgeny Romanov.
Oh, Yevgeny Romanov, yeah, I know Yevgeny.
That's the guy who was working with Simon Aktestein during Norway chess, where
Precisely.
Simon did pretty well, having some interesting theoretical ideas.
Simon's French at the Norway chess was rock solid, wasn't it? So, interesting stuff. Should we check out the other game? Well, I mean, we've got this position. Let's just get your opinion on the current positions, then we'll probably let you go because you've got a lot of other people that want to talk to you.
Yeah, we shouldn't forget the Norwegian guys. Not only now, but in general, with chess picking up in Norway, you're a rock star, basically, right? I see press whenever you go anywhere like, oh my God, there's Jon Ludvig Hammer. Is it trouble getting adjusted to that, or do you like it?
No, I mean, I enjoy attention a lot. I mean, I think you have to
so
have.
That's why we do this.
Yeah, precisely. I think you have to have a quite healthy ego to be able to compete at the highest level. Right. And I have that. Yeah.
Tell us about this position, Jon Ludvig. It's white to move Simon Aktestein. I like white's position.
Yeah, no, it's looking very good for Simon. I mean, his opponent's bishop is completely out of it, and yeah, no, I'm really liking his position.
All right, let's go to your other teammates' games. We've got Leif Erlend Johannesson.
His opponent actually played one knight a3.
Oh my goodness, we didn't even notice that.
We missed that part.
We missed that one.
Look at this, e5, knight c4. We've seen a lot of rule breaking already, but this is a bit extreme, right?
That's unbelievable. I cannot believe he's played knight a3.
Maybe he lost a bet. That's the kind of thing I could picture you doing after losing
I think
a bet.
believe it or not, I've actually played knight a3 in a serious game before. I won.
That I do believe, actually.
No, I won that one. But what's interesting is knight a3, e5, and look at that. Hold on, we got a shot here, ladies and gentlemen. The king,
guy watching Magnus.
The king and what can we call that
Who's
chap?
The king, Magnus or Gary?
Well, the current king and the former king, certainly. I think we can call that Gary Kasparov, the former world champion. He's here in Tromsø, not just to watch Magnus, of course. The FIDE election's coming up, but amazing to see Gary Kasparov here watching the games. Obviously tipped Magnus to be world champion one day, rated him very much when it was 2004 when they played in Reykjavik, I believe, when Magnus nearly beat Gary Kasparov when he was still active. So great to see Gary Kasparov in the hall, and who knows what's going to happen in the FIDE election. We are not going to comment on such things here, but
we're not? Can we bet on them at least?
I don't think we can bet on them, no. That's a shame. But let's go back to this game. Unbelievable.
Yeah. No, knight a3 I thought was a bit too much.
Do you think it was, you know, I'm going to be on TV, let's, you know, this is just a TV moment, right?
Maybe, well, I mean, if you go forward to the position right now, it did not work out very well for him.
All right, let's go to the...
Leif Erlend could get a fantastic start with the 2 wins.
2 out of 2, let's have a look. Let's zoom through these.
Well, basically, he's playing white with 2 tempos down and his knight slightly misplaced.
Right. So not the best.
But his knight.
Hold on, but now the knight found a home.
To make quite a career.
No, this is fine for black.
Of course it is.
Castles, knight d5, yep.
Well, he never really equalized, and knight takes d5 is kind of not the move you want to be making.
Right, he's moved his knight 5 times.
So you moved the knight 1, 2,
or 4 times.
3 times, and then exchange it off on d5. That doesn't bode well for the development.
Yeah, so in the meantime, Leif Erlend got his queen out and got castled.
Got castle, got the rooks connected, got the rooks in the centre, and yeah, I mean, you take black here all day long, right? you're better placed, your pieces are working
Very solid guy, Leif Arlen, right? He looks solid, he's a lawyer, and he plays solid chess as well, putting his pieces in the center of the board, very classical style. I think he's doing pretty well here.
Yeah, but far from over. He's still got a
Yeah,
lot of
no,
work to
it's
do.
far from over, and it's. I guess that's what the Finn was hoping for. That you kind of kick yourself when you realize you're not much better, and the guy was playing knight a3, and you're like going, "How can I not beat this guy who played knight a3 on the first move?" I mean, I think that's basically what he's going for.
I think if I ever play Magnus, that's the first move I'll choose. Just to say, hey.
I don't think the first move will matter all that much, but you can try to look silly doing it.
I'll try and look silly. Let's look at the
black is much better. Move like f5 here, threatening e4. The white pieces are just misplaced. I'd be very confident if I was Leif Arlen here.
Let's go to Kjetil Lees.
What's the correct pronunciation? Kjetil, Kjetil?
Kjetil.
Kjetil. And Lee?
Lee.
Lee, okay.
Like Chinese. Lee.
Bruce Lee, for
Yeah,
example.
for instance.
Okay. So Kjetil is playing white. He had a torrid day yesterday. That was really one to forget. But with the white pieces looking for redemption, and today playing against Daniel Eberling, FIDE master, but rated 24-45. You don't
And
see
18 years old.
Wow.
So this is a
that's-
dangerous
Why
guy.
is he a FIDE master?
at 24. You very rarely see a FIDE master at 24.
No, also if you're 18 and you're 2400, you don't get that FIDE master title because it's kind of a sign, or I would thought about it, like it's a sign you're not planning to become an international master. That's why you got the FIDE master title.
Were you a FIDE master in your time?
No, I wasn't. Else
Wow.
that speech would have looked silly. I might be wrong about that. And Daniel Eberling, certainly, I am strength at the very least by his rating. I don't know. This is a position that requires understanding. We're gonna need Mr. Hammer's opinion again.
Well, I'm not convinced Kjetil has such a great position. It seems to me that his backward pawn actually counts for something. And but I mean, it was a very strange game all game, and maybe he could have made something more of it. But as long as he doesn't lose, I think we have excellent chances of winning this match.
All right, I would tend to agree with that. All right.
Doesn't look like white is worse. Do you know, by the way, that Lee is the most popular surname in the world?
I didn't know that.
That's true.
Is it not Gustafsson?
No, it's Lee.
Oh.
I'm not sure about the spelling. Probably L-E-E is the more normal spelling. But the most normal name in the world is Mohammed Lee.
Mohammed?
Well, it's the most popular
first
name.
name, right,
Lee
gotcha.
is the most popular.
But there are
last
probably
name.
not many Mohammed Lees.
I don't know. We should follow up
If
on
your
that
name is
because
Mohammed Lee, please
pieces of useful knowledge on the show.
hashtag C24 Live.
I don't think Kjetil Lee is worth, for the record.
I actually disagree. I like
think
Black's
he's worse?
position. I think White lacks. You know, you can play Rook D7, Rook FD8, put your bishop on B8. Worst case scenario, if you have a double on the A file, and two bishops, long-term potential. You've got a lot of breaks in the position. Yeah,
I don't know. I've played this structure a lot, and I agree. Yeah, this pawn is weak, but these pawns, they're really holding you back as well. You don't have a lot of dynamic options apart from B5.
But after Rook FD8, the machine is suggesting Rook F1, so Rook FA1.
Yeah, well, the machine is not always right, but if I just keep making moves... Okay, I'm a horrible player. That's why this is going downhill.
H3 is a horrible move, but Queen B8 attacking F4, for example. Yeah.
Then you do have to go back.
Yeah, and then what? You know, no, I think if aside for preference, I would take Black. I just think there's more potential in the position.
Well, I agree, but at the same time, I don't feel like
No,
there's a lot of stuff Black can do. 'Cause
no, absolutely.
as long as Kjetil doesn't get too ambitious, I think.
Are you allowed to offer a draw before move 30 here?
No.
No, I thought that was the case. Yeah, I thought exactly that. So, you know, these are the sorts of positions where in the old days, I think as White, your team captain would say, look, if you can get a draw here, do it. Because I can't see many winning chances for White here at all, really.
I'm not sure. I think it's an equal position and anything can happen, really. Speaking of these draw offers, by the way, the first time they had that, I believe, was in 2008.
Right.
And you know me, I'm a very draw-happy player. I was
You are.
playing in 2008, And Morozevich, he offered me a draw when we were playing Russia on move 18. And I was dying to take it. I didn't like my position. But I wasn't allowed to, because you're not allowed to make a draw before move 30. So
But
that
can
was
you
a
not-
cruel trick he played
Was he
with.
not penalised for his early draw off?
No, I don't think he was. Maybe I should have
You
protested
should have
more. I
protested.
just declined and I said, I'm sorry, I'd love it, but we can't. But that was a cruel, cruel trick.
That was a real poker face.
messed with
I would
my hand.
really love a draw right now, but did you win?
No, I drew after
Oh, you did
suffering
draw, yeah.
for like 100 moves and a
All
rook
right.
ending a pawn down.
Oh my goodness.
Still, Norway looking good. I believe, yeah, you're going to win this match, right?
Yeah, I think so. And I also want to give a shout out to
Yeah.
the Norwegian second and third team.
Yeah, of course.
The second team are playing Ukraine
We've been
on the
watching.
second board. And,
Big fight. Urkedal, Ivanchuk, we don't understand anything that's going on, but
Me neither.
Urkedal's still doing all right.
Yeah, no, it's a strange game. And also, I mean, even our third team with a lot of the Norwegian youngsters
Yes.
are playing Germany.
In fact, we haven't
that's
even
right.
checked in with that
can
one.
check
we
in
can
with
very
that one.
quickly check in. You've got Espen Lee, and you've got a chap whose hair
I'm a big
I
fan
wish
of
I had.
Oscar Hauge. He has a full head of hair, unlike other guys on the show.
Well, thanks, Jan.
No, I meant myself.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. You're struggling.
I have a
aren't
lot
you?
of hair as well.
Yeah, Jon Ludvig does have a lot of hair. But Lars Oscar Høge, I saw him, I played in a tournament with him last October at the Norway.
Which
I
board
wrote
are
the
they on? Let's quickly check in with them.
boards 12 or 13. And I remember seeing him play very convincing chess against very strong grandmasters, holding his own, and I can see he's rated 2346. He must be, what, 12, 13 years old? Or is he a bit more than that?
He's 16, I believe.
Oh, he's 16. I thought
Well, he's born in 1998.
Goodness, that still sounds young to me. Either way, 2346, clearly a big talent. And him and Arjen Tari, I suppose, are the two of the big talents in Norway chess at the moment.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're becoming the Nordic powerhouse. I mean, we have better talents than the other Nordic countries. We have better players than the other Nordic countries.
Let's
So
get the claws
competitive
out.
on
Wow,
these
look at
Nordic
this. We
countries,
love
man.
it. Let's have a look very quickly, very, very briefly at these games. Because your countryman, Jan,
That's right.
what's going on in the first game? Espen Lee
It's a mess,
versus
that's for
Arkady
sure.
Naidic. What's going on here? My goodness.
I'm liking white.
Not a lot
I'm
of
guessing.
pieces out.
Espen doing all right here, right? How do you
I
ever...
have no idea what's going on.
Well, I'm guessing if you take on d4, you're getting checkmated.
How do you checkmate?
Rook
Rook
c1.
A, C1.
And that now I'm hoping.
I was careless playing knight f6. This check would be
Cute.
quite unpleasant.
Very nice.
So what does black do? You have to make some luft.
Make some luft. Luft.
F8 or f5 is being indicated by our little helper. I don't know, it feels risky to be black, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Could,
Queen A4.
could go either way.
Could go either way here, yeah. So chances...
I mean, I could definitely see Naidic winning this for sure. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you don't want to be, preferably you don't want to be in danger at any point. You want the white players to win, and you want the black players to, push a bit, but at the very least, never
Not go
being
crazy, yeah.
at the risk of losing. Because, I mean, with 4 games in each match, you only need to lose 1 game before it's incredibly tight.
Yeah. Now, every match is so critical in a 4-game match, so...
Then again, Naidic is very experienced at beating slightly weaker players, and he's normally quite willing to take some risks to do that as well, which players are different. Like I would, if I can avoid it, never take a single risk, but I've seen him playing some sharp positions and pulling them off.
Yeah, but
Very
and
often.
also, I mean, Naidic is in very good form.
Right.
So it's a style that works poorly when you're losing and
Yes.
works brilliantly when you're winning. And he had a
Correct.
very good tournament in China,
Yeah.
I believe.
Now, he's doing all right, is Arkady, so... Let's check out with Fridman and the...
Who else is there? We haven't seen the third Norwegian team. Rune Djurhus, he's an older guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, the Norwegian Chess Federation wanted to play with a lot of under 16 guys.
Right.
But the point was, since we only got to know whether or not we got a third team in the competition, we got to know that some hours before the first round.
Oh, wow.
And we were not allowed to switch to make them pure teams under 16
Oh, right.
and a second team.
I was
So-
surprised about that, because at every Olympiad I've been, the host nation has always managed to make it 3 teams. I think the rule is that you're allowed to have 3 teams if there's an uneven number at a certain time.
Yeah, that's what I assumed as well. But
But the
apparently,
organizer can determine that time. So normally they found a way to decide it at a time when there is an uneven number, right?
I would think so. But the thing is, you know, maybe the rules didn't say that. Maybe that was just how it had been done previously. And now, after some disputes lately about the actual rules, somebody found out, let's enforce what's actually written.
Very possible.
But yeah, no, I mean, we have 2 guys under 16 on the second team. Who were put there just in
Yes.
case we didn't get a 13, and then we have 3 under 16 on the 13.
Well, you've got Djurhus here playing against Fredman with black, and
He's doing all right.
he's doing all right. He's got a, yeah,
Close
does.
to equal, I would guess.
yeah.
Really?
Well, it looked
Maybe I just
optically.
blundered a pawn.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought bishop d5, rook a4, takes, and then get on the d file as fast as possible. But if I'm just giving away my pieces, that might not be a good idea.
It's really the question if black can get counterplay before this guy makes a home run. I don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Not sure about that.
I think maybe he can find some way to make a draw, but I think Djurhus is a bit
Suffering a
worse.
bit,
Yeah.
Fair
Let's
enough.
go to the new addition, I should say, to the German team, formerly representing Romania, Liviu Nisipianu.
First of all, I thought it was interesting that they put him on board 4. He's the second highest rated player, and we've seen some teams twist their lineups a little bit, like the Russians, for example, and having Nisipianu on 4. It's probably the idea is that he's more of a specialist in beating weaker players, and they assume that Meyer and Friedman, who are playing in front of him, are more solid. But it's always interesting, all these lineup questions. Did you Norwegians discuss it, or do you just go by rating?
We go by rating pretty much, and also, I mean, I heard somewhere somebody claiming that you're actually supposed to play your team in the expected order of strength.
Oh, okay.
But I never saw that rule myself.
No, I don't think that's a rule. There's certainly loads of teams. Hungary have got Judith Polgar on bottom board, and they're playing Csaba Balog on
Board
top,
two.
on board 2, and there's a 60-point rating difference. So I don't think that's a rule. But I think it's pure tactics. It's whether you think perhaps one of your stronger guys, somebody like Judith, can duff up a load of board 4s, and Csaba Balog can just sit there tight and grind out draws on board 1. So it's an interesting tactic. In this game, though, Lars Oskar Hauger, remember that name, remember his big hair. I know I certainly do.
He
great,
doesn't have big hair, he has good hair.
good hair.
That's right.
He's got good hair.
He's got a full head of hair.
He's got a full head of hair. He's playing white against Nisipianu, and, well, okay, he's doing all right. He's doing all
Well,
right.
he's a pawn down, so it's...
Maybe not that all right.
He has to recapture
He has to
his
take the
piece,
knight.
so he's going to do that. H takes G.
And then queen takes,
Queen
probably.
Ending like that. He has drawing chances, but no more than that.
Yeah. No, it's a pawn down against a very tough opponent, so we would be very happy to get a draw there. I
Okay.
think.
And what about this chap,
Let's
Sebastian
go to my
Mihailov?
favorite player. I'll tell you why he's my favorite player, Sebastian Mihailov. He's the only guy I respect as an authority in Plants vs. Zombies, which is my best game. My second best is chess. But that's how I spend my free time, with Plants vs. Zombies. And Sebastian is a wizard at that
Really?
game. So multi-talented kid.
Wow.
He's the guy I ask strategy questions on Plants vs. Zombies.
Okay.
Not on chess, but
Seems to be doing okay here. White's definitely for preference 2 bishops.
this is a very unpleasant position. I don't like it at all for black.
Yeah.
White has the 2 bishops. He's just going to go bishop e1, queen b3, target the b4 pawn. This is a dream grinder's position with one.
There's something with a pin on the c file, and right now white is threatening bishop takes b4.
Right.
And in order to do something about that threat, you need to move your queen.
Queen e7.
Now, preferably, you would like to move the queen somewhere. It protects the rook. So I would like to put it on b8. The problem being that now suddenly rook a8
Rook
is
A8.
a very strong move.
Oof.
Yeah, this pin on the c file. If he were to get 2 moves in a row, I think if he were to get both queen b8 and bishop e7, he could hold this. But now it's unpleasant.
Yeah,
I think it's
tend to
very
work.
unpleasant.
So looks
Paramit's
like
a very patient guy. If he gets a decent position out of the opening, he's very tough to face. But then again, Germany does outrate Norway 3 by, I don't know, I guess like 300 points per board, so they are supposed to beat them, right?
They're supposed to be them. Be good to see if.
Maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it's 200 points. I'm not
No, I think
no,
it's
you're
about 300.
it's about
so,
three.
I mean, they're
250.
massive underdogs, but it's very fun for them to get to play. It wasn't certain that they would be allowed to play.
Sure.
And also, you know, winning 4-0 in their first match and getting to play Germany on one of the top boards.
Before we let you go, let's just quickly go back to Magnus, because we'll see if he's made any progress in this ending. I have no idea what the current position is.
and we still haven't given the Night Orc an answer what the line is on Magnus actually winning that.
Well,
You said he wasn't going to win a single game out of 10, so that's like...
no, I thought he would win 1 out of 10 at most.
Okay.
I think...
I said he wouldn't win a
It's-
single
yeah,
one.
it's-
But that's maybe...
Jon
I'm coming
Ludvig.
around to your line of thinking. Could he be slightly worse looking at this position now? Because it's kind of tough to get his queen side going.
But at the very least, if he manages, he will get this potential passed pawn on the far side and be able to create a lot of stuff going on there. So it's difficult to say, but yeah, no, I think he's doing fine. 96 now,
Just played 96.
and I guess Tommy will have to play f5, and that's, you know, it's
Move
a
you
double-edged
don't love to
move.
make, because who knows, it could give up that square in the future. But I think it's a good move to just
Well,
stop
he
the
has
square.
to do it, I think, because Magnus is threatening b5.
Let's make an innocent move like g3, then b5 followed by c5.
Right.
And
And all
then
of a
this
sudden,
is dangerous
yeah,
for
you
white
don't want
because
that.
of the potential
Outside pawn.
outside pawn, passed pawn.
So f5, okay, and then knight has to go to, let's say, c7 looks very logical to put it there.
Yeah, because then you can kick the king from d4. Oh,
And also knight c5 you can answer with
B6.
b6 because you covered a6, right?
Right. So knight c7, let's have a look.
Oops, sorry. So,
The problem is the knight hasn't got an easy route.
it's good passive on c7, right? Okay, you can park it on
Yeah,
b5. White kind of struggles to make, both sides struggle a bit to make a useful move, right? After g3, I'm not sure you want to go knight b5 because then white
Knight
could go
C5.
knight c5.
Yeah.
Almost
So-
like a mutual Zugzwang kind of thing, isn't it?
I think it's probably just very equal, isn't it? Because knight c4.
well, I mean, Jan's point is that this might be very unpleasant for white, no, for black.
I don't see a
Because
move
it's
that
difficult
doesn't
to
hurt
find
our
a move.
position. Because maybe this is possible. This has to be checked. Knight b5, knight c5, attacking this pawn, and now b6, knight takes a6, and trying to kind of trap this knight, or at least not to let it out. I'm not sure if this works. Because if we don't have that idea after g3, you just don't have a decent move. You don't want to move the knight because of knight c5. You run out of pawn moves quickly. Your king also can't really move because of knight c5. So I think this is critical.
And also, white can just go king d3, king e3
Right.
to get you to have to move. And also, yeah.
But this could work though. If the knight takes a6, the knight is kind of cut off.
How do you ever win it?
And then
You don't have to win it.
Yeah. Okay.
Play knight c3 to stop a4.
Okay. A3,
Go c5.
king d3,
well, I assume you can go king d7 and pick up the knight. Huh?
king d7.
Yeah, king d7 instead of c5.
Which position, sir? Instead of c5. Let's try it.
King d3.
King d3, knight a4, b5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And b5 is the way out too.
Well,
You're
at the
never
very
winning.
least, you can get the knight out,
At some
which
point
is
you go
important.
b5
Yeah.
once the king makes it to b7. Yeah.
No, I think you careful. You could end up,
Yeah.
careful. You don't want to lose this with black, that's for sure.
No, I think this position, even if you're not winning the knight, I don't see how white could be better here, because the knight really doesn't do anything. The black knight is active enough to at least annoy some of these pawns. Let's say king d3 or
You've
knight
always
d1.
got king e2.
Yeah, but you're not going to win this. That's my point. King e2. I go
No.
back to c3.
Well, right there you actually had king c4.
After knight d1? Maybe. I might win if you get too
C4.
excited.
Hang on, ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, okay.
I
Hold
might
on.
not win. I mean, this is all a mess. c3, knight c5.
No,
c2.
suddenly it gets crazy.
Who knows what's going on? But yeah, I think that's one of Magnus's strongest side. Like, there is a lot of subtleties in all these endings, even though we say, yeah, boring, draw, and he normally is not afraid of thinking about them, right?
Yeah. No, I'm feeling good about the team's chances to take a win against Finland.
I
Oh,
think we should let
We
Mr.
should let
Hammer
you go.
He's a
Yeah,
very busy
thank
man,
you,
as
Jon
we know.
Ludvig, for
Thanks a
joining
lot,
us.
Jon Ludvig.
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
All right.